Are you curious what real estate agents should post to LinkedIn in 2022? Don't worry, I've got you covered. I'm going to give you some LinkedIn content ideas for real estate in 2022. Hey everybody, Katie Lance here, founder and CEO of Katie Lance Consulting, the Get Social Smart Academy, and author of the book Get Social Smart. It's episode 279 of the Get Social Smart Show, and today I'm going to share with you 5 ideas for content for LinkedIn in 2022. Idea number 1, market data. So one of the most important things that you can share when it comes to LinkedIn is what's happening in the market. You know, you think about the last time you got together with family, friends, clients, what's the number one question everybody always asks? How's the market? Right? So there's no shortage of data, and you know, if you're an individual agent, your broker probably has a ton of market data. Your local association, there's no shortage of market data. But the thing with market data is, unless you are a numbers person, it can be kind of tough to digest. So what I recommend is share a link to an article or a graph if you've got a great graphic that perhaps your broker's created. But the key here is add your 2 cents. What does that mean? If I'm looking at that graphic, what the heck does that mean? You might even create a video, maybe once a month, where you're talking about what's happening in the market, right? So again, when it comes to market data, don't feel like you have to pack everything in. A great video about market data could be, hey, here's the 3 things you need to know that's happening in the January real estate market in this particular city, right? So you're hitting a couple high points, but then your call to action at the end might be, hey, if you'd like me to email you a full market report, comment below. Or if you'd like to access that full market report, email me at whatever your email address is, right? So share helpful market data. Again, you probably have it in a variety of formats depending on how you're listening to this. But the key here is adding in your own 2 cents. And if you want to take it to that next level, get on camera, either a recorded video or Facebook Live or even Instagram Live, and you can download that, repurpose it, put it over to LinkedIn. Some of you might even have access to LinkedIn Live, which is not yet available to the public, but that type of content, that market data, is just invaluable. Idea number 2, buyer and seller tips. So you guys work with buyers and sellers all day long, right? Think about the questions your average buyer, your average seller asks you. You know those questions where you think to yourself, if I get asked this one more time, that's a great piece of content, especially for LinkedIn. So what I encourage you to do is think about, who do you want to work with? Who do you want to attract? Do you want to work with first-time home buyers? Do you have a lot of luck reaching out to for sale by owners and then turning them into clients? Do you want to work more with investors? Do you want to work more in the luxury market? Whoever your ideal client is, you want to share some tips related to the pain points that those people have. So if you love working with first-time home buyers, I encourage you, make a list of the 10, 15 things that come up when you work with first-time home buyers, right? Things like how to find a lender, how do you know when it's a good time to buy, when should you stop renting and actually start buying, what should you look for when you're house hunting, what are some of the questions you should ask a realtor as a first-time home buyer. If you can start to create some content around the clients that you want to attract and then post that type of content regularly, especially to LinkedIn, it's going to pay off in a big, big way. And if you watch any of our other videos, you know when it comes to content, I always say, look, social media is rented ground. As much as I like LinkedIn, we don't own it. So take a step back, think about creating some content you own, like market data, like buyer and seller tips. Those are fantastic for LinkedIn, but guess what? You can also repurpose those and post them to Facebook or Instagram or other platforms or even YouTube that you might be active on. Idea number 3, community content. So community content is where it's at, right? We know that real estate's a local business, is a local industry, and so think about, where is your niche audience? And it's really tempting in real estate to say, yeah, I serve all of California. I serve all of New York. That's impossible. We know that. So we want to lean into your niche area and talk about, like, if you are in a specific area, what's the difference between this town versus the town over, right? Or what's the difference between moving to the big city that's nearest to you or considering the suburbs? When you can start to create some really valuable community content, that's going to be great content to post to LinkedIn. Why? Because LinkedIn has a really robust search. And if someone is on LinkedIn searching for a local realtor in their town, if you're someone who's posting market data, buyer and seller tips, and community content that shows that you really are an expert in your local area, heads and tails, you're going to show up a little bit higher in those LinkedIn search results, and it's just going to add to that credibility even more. Now, I know some of you are listening to this going, other people in my town are posting about the community. I'm just telling you right now, you guys, the opportunity is wide open, because what a lot of people do is they post about the community, but what they do is they'll say, oh, check out this store or check out this restaurant, but where they miss the boat is creating their own content about it, right? So here's an opportunity for you to perhaps get on camera, or for you to take a picture in front of the store, or for you to put your own voice out there about what restaurants you love and boutiques and your favorite lenders, and the best place to get a cup of coffee, and the best place to get a glass of wine. If you can really put your own voice out there on the places you love and why you love this area, that is going to really resonate with people. And again, it's relevant not just for LinkedIn, but for other social media platforms as well. Idea number 4, expertise about your niche. So this kind of goes hand in hand when it comes to buyer and seller tips, but when we think about your niche or niche, whatever it is, we want to think about what's your expertise, right? Now, if you're new to real estate, this is an opportunity for you to talk about all the skills that you've learned elsewhere that you are bringing to the table when it comes to real estate. I often find with new agents that they're a little bit hesitant to say I'm new, but the other side of the coin is that you have all this experience in other areas of your life. Maybe it is in the educational industry or the healthcare industry or the technology industry. How did that experience help to get you where you are today? If you're more experienced, this is an opportunity to talk about your niche, right? And who you love to work with, who is your ideal client. And when you can really talk about that and also share some success stories. So as you start to work with clients and you have a great client who is a first-time home buyer, if that's your niche, we want to highlight those folks, right? Take their picture. Maybe it's a picture, at the closing table, or you're in front of them popping a bottle of champagne. Anytime we highlight our clients, we obviously want to ask their permission, make sure they're comfortable with us posting about them on social media. But if you're already sharing buyer and seller tips that are relevant to your niche, now is a great opportunity to really expand upon that and highlight some of those folks who are in your niche and to highlight those success stories. Now, when you're doing that on LinkedIn, just like anywhere else on social media, remember, it's less about you and more about them. What's their story, right? So instead of saying, hey, close another one today, what if we say, wow, I had an opportunity to work with an amazing family as they purchased their first home ever, and I can't wait to see what's next for them, right? See how that feels a little bit different? All right, let's go on to the last tip. Tip number 5, or idea number 5. This probably isn't surprising if you watch me for any period of time. Video, video, video. LinkedIn, just like any other social media platform, it prioritizes video. And LinkedIn has an algorithm just like any other social media platform, which means when you post something, your content goes out to a small percentage of the people who follow you and who are connected on LinkedIn. The type of content that gets weighted the heaviest, the type of content that gets a higher priority in the LinkedIn newsfeed, it's video. Now, if you're already creating video content, you can certainly share the YouTube link, which we do periodically, but I'd also recommend that you upload your videos directly into LinkedIn. LinkedIn, just like any other platform, they love when you stay on LinkedIn. So get on camera, create some video content. And again, if you're already creating video content for YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, why not repurpose it? Try to post one video a week over on LinkedIn. And by the way, one of the ways we do this, as I've often talked about, is we batch create our video content. If I'm going to do my hair and makeup and record one video, I might as well record like 4 or 5. So if you're already getting into that routine, if you followed some of our other training that we've done about batching content, creating content, video content, hugely important with LinkedIn. If you have access to LinkedIn Live, which some of you might have access to, you could go live on LinkedIn as well. By the way, everything I'm talking about today is free. I know there's a paid version of LinkedIn, but this is all free and a really great opportunity for you to take your marketing to the next level. Okay, I would love to hear from you. Are you active on LinkedIn? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments below. If we're not yet connected, make sure you drop your LinkedIn handle in the comments below so I can connect with you over on LinkedIn. If you enjoyed this video, we would love if you'd hit the subscribe button and the bell button, as we have new videos that come out each and every week. And last but not least, if you are looking for additional social media training, did you know we have a great free resource library? Go to katielance.com/freebies, katielance.com/freebies. Put your name and email in, and we will send you a ton of great free resources, not just about LinkedIn, but LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all kinds of good stuff. All right, my friends, I'll see you soon, and I'll see you on LinkedIn.